Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to this week's Unconventional Wisdom on Grief and Loss. This is session 11. 11 weeks that we've been doing this, I guess, since the latter part of January. So time, at least our concept of time in this plane is going by. But even just generally, just general time, natural time, I mean, it keeps moving, doesn't stop. So my name is Delilah De La Rosa. I am the founder of Depth Worldwide, which is putting this series on. Also, the person that is working it out with the help of my fabulous guide, facilitator, spiritual workout creator, founder, Steven Morrison here to my side. He is also the author, fabulous writer of An Extra Year, Grief and Loss in the New Age. Wonderful book. And also would like to welcome any and all non-physical entities, including my mother, who passed away in November 4th. She was the person that basically is the reason, for this series. She passed away in November of last year from after being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. This is also, we'd like to acknowledge Duder. This is Steven's partner that
started it all.
Yeah, that we read about in this fabulous book. Duder, if you're out there, mommy, as well as any and all non-physical entities, cousins, relatives, ancestors, loved ones of any type, and strangers.
And those who are interested in helping us to continue to thin the veil.
Yes.
To continue to
deepen the connection, the communication. Yes. Please. I welcome all of that. I am not scared. Not scared. I'm actually give myself credit for that. I'm not scared. When I brought this up about really wanting to connect with the non-physical, and I was telling other people some stories, like, for example, one of my cousins whose mom passed away back in 2020, kind of unexpectedly from COVID. She was one of the first folks that ended up passing away when that first started happening. And I spoke to him when my mother passed away, and he told me, without my telling him that I was looking for this, he was just like, look, my mom talks to me all the time. And I'm like, really? And he's just like, yeah, people kind of like distance themselves from me because they thought I was kind of crazy, and I was just like making things up. Sometimes I even questioned myself, and a lot of people find it weird and get freaked out. And I was just like, I don't. I was like, more happy. Thank you. More, please, please, please. I was like, I welcome it. I told him, I was like, cousin, I welcome that. Like, I am not scared of that at all. Like, I really am not. I'm really not. Like, I was just like, I welcome that. Like that lineman that fell at 3 o'clock in the morning as I was reading the line about my mom's lime tree and at her service. She was a big limeade fan. I was like, thank you. And I had asked for more signs from the universe. One of them was including, I just had this download Madonna's Borderline song, right? And I think I had put that out there about 3 weeks ago. And when I came back every week I was just like, so no Madonna's borderline yet. Yet. And to be honest with you, Steven, I didn't bring that up because I wanted to say that it wasn't working or that I was disappointed, because I really did feel like it was a yet situation, like in my core, that it was like coming. But I was a little bit, I guess, because the other signs were so immediate. Like when she was first diagnosed and I had asked for a sign that everything's going to be okay, whatever that looks like, I'm going to be okay, we're going to be okay. And I got immediately, like not even a minute passed, and immediately I got a rainbow thing, right? And then ever since then, tons of rainbows, all types of rainbows, outside rainbows, inside reflection rainbows, rainbows on TV. Like it was just rainbows all around. And I'm like, happy, thank you, more please. And then more please, right? Then I had the Lyman, well, I've had the lights flickering. I had the lights flickering, and then I had the Lyman, which was like a really nice surprise. And then I was just like, okay, I guess maybe ready for more. And I just had that song, Madonna's Borderline. 80s New York really reminds me of my mom. Anything 80s, pointing to 80s New York, especially in music, is like really like I could feel that time with her. Like I can, you know what I mean? So it was kind of crickets with Madonna's Borderline, that sign, for about 3 weeks. And then on Saturday, was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday. On Saturday, I was in bed and I was really not feeling very good. I was feeling physically, as I had mentioned, pretty much all of March, I was feeling pretty lousy physically, and thus emotionally. I don't know which came first, but that's just how I was. Like the bodily physical symptoms were really sticking out. And so I was kind of having a lot of issues with that. So I was in bed and I was having a hard time kind of like getting out of bed and just feeling a little overwhelmed with where we left off last week in terms of some of the limiting beliefs, that are some of the limiting beliefs that I'm working with, and definitely that whole habit practice of going to impending doom scenarios and all of that. So I was in bed Saturday, I believe, just kind of like not really want to get out of it, because I was just like, I was on Instagram. And I wasn't like scrolling or anything too much. Like I think I just was just in bed, and I follow Cardi B on Instagram. And just so everybody knows, Cardi B is like a half Dominican, half Trinidadian rapper from the Bronx. Well, yeah, but just in case. And I'm half Dominican. I'm half Dominican from the Bronx. So I always saw her like my little sister, my little play sister, and also someone who I playfully, jokingly say is living out my dreams. Like being a fashion muse at Icon and doing her stuff, and, going from, poverty to really successful and just being herself. My mom would say that she was like a Carol Burnett of our generation. She's just so silly and fun, And my mom liked her too, she like thought she was a hoot. So I always joke that I'm like, Cardi B is kind of living out my little Lila-verse dreams. You know what I mean? Like if I was like creator of everything, like including like can intend for other people, like that's kind of like where that lives. Anyway, go on her story. What video does she put on?
Let me guess.
And I just was so touched by that. And I started crying because I was like, it was touched though. Like it wasn't.
Yes, of course. That's it. So that's inspiration at work. That's a version. It's a component, a layer, an element of how what we mean when we talk about inspiration here. It's a significant piece of it. That feeling of feeling touched and warm-hearted and connected and pleased and all of that. That is how you know it is not an accident.
Yeah, I felt touched. I also felt like, being that I've jokingly, and I even mentioned this to my mom, right? Like, even though, like, I jokingly would say that Cardi was kind of like living my dream, you know, my Lila-verse dreams. Like, if I were to intend for everyone and everything, you know, like go to the Caribbean and not have to deal with mosquitoes, like that kind of, you know what I mean? That she was kind of living out those dreams. Like, I would jokingly say that. And I think I even joked with my mother about that. So for her to put on the video in her stories, by the way, of that song, right? And she was like, that's, I don't know, she said something like how I'm feeling right now or something like that, right? And I was like, wow, like this is pretty cool because it's coming from Cardi's account. And in a way, I kind of like, you know, admired like her lifestyle or what she exudes, better said, what she exudes. And that's where the song came through.
And then what did you feel? Tell me, so the song, and then take me through the emotional.
I started crying because I was really touched, and I literally was just like, you know, like,
Were you talking? What were you thinking right then?
Yeah, I was just like, thank you, Mom. You know, thank you so much, because I was feeling like crap, you know, like I was feeling like crap, like drowning in it a bit, you know, because of the emotion, I mean, the physical toll, like it just is so dense, you know? So to feel that, not even thinking about like, when am I going to hear the borderline? You know, like I didn't even go there, and it came up and I was like, oh my God. And then the fact that it came through Cardi's account, I was just like, I felt like there was even more meaning, more of a message there. Like, girl, live your best life, you know, like live your best life kind of thing. So that was a really, really cool experience.
What would you say to somebody who hears you relay that story and they say, well, that was just a coincidence?
I would say that it's fine if you think that. No, it's fine that you think, you can think that. I mean, I could think that, you know, I could believe that. But I don't think so. I don't think so.
So this is literally an example of our practice all the time, where we choose on purpose what to believe. We choose on purpose what meaning to make of things. We're doing that anyway. Here, we're doing it consciously. That's it. You know, I work with people all the time, and they're like, well, this thing, they'll share that a story just like that, and then they're not believing that it is the result of their own desire, their own intention. And this is also how one learns, right? What is guidance? What's just everyday regular stuff? What is a response to my request? What's just anything else? And yet, just to complete this thought, we already buy off on the fact we already believe that there are no accidents. That's what this concept means. We are here for a reason. Born on purpose for a purpose, but also in any given moment, in any given circumstance, in having any given experience, not by accident. And again, I'm not here to convince anybody of that, but I'm reminding us all that we choose what to believe. And
True.
so, yeah.
I guess that leads me to another part where we left off last week. We can go into that. Was about the limiting beliefs that are going into that are informing, perpetuating that sort of lack of trust of myself and the divine. Other people fucking up my program, like these, I'm not enough, like these age-old, let's say long-standing beliefs, well practiced for a long time.
Yeah.
One of the things that kept on coming up, and I mentioned this last week, was to me, it seems like anytime I am going into the depths of some emotional pain, if I'm flowing there, I'm not even like, oh, I'm going to peel the onion. It's like I'm flowing into that place like I was last month. Really addressing, allowing myself to truly feel that heartache that I wasn't really able to go into when my mother was sick and we were taking care of her, for various reasons. One of which was like when she got the diagnosis, it wasn't like we were all like, okay, you're going to die, so let's prepare for your dying.
Right.
It's a tricky situation when you're dealing with that, I think. But anyway, so that was what happened, was that I had to sort of like suspend, postpone, not repress, but suspend, postpone the heartache because pause a bit, because we weren't like, she's going to depart.
Right.
So it was team recovery, team get back to health. And even when it was not looking so good, it was still like, okay, right? Like that in between, I've mentioned to you when it was occurring, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm witnessing a rough patch in my mom's experience, or if I'm witnessing her dying, And I think that toward the later weeks, I knew in my core that I was seeing her dying, So the past last month, I think brought on a lot more thoughts about her physical loss, missing that connection. And it still is, like I guess when some time goes by, or as we're going to approach the 5-month mark in like 2 days. And yeah, it's just kind of hitting me differently, now that I guess I may have some more space, room, the capacity to really feel this. And I also noticed that when I deign to go there, that's when the impending doom, really fearful thoughts, anxiety start coming up, which try to take the attention away from going into the real emotional pain. And we talked about how last week we talked about how it benefits me, quotes, quotation marks. It benefits me, the upside here, right? In terms of going to anxiety, fear, impending doom scenarios, is that in a way, the way I'm believing, the way I'm seeing it, is that by entertaining the conceptual pain, conceptual doom is better than living actual doom. You know?
Well, that's exactly what I was just going
Yeah.
to say. So what has a week of that perspective, that insight done in your system?
When you mentioned that, yeah, it's kind of like choosing between shit and poop. Wait, what did you, shit and
Poop and
poop?
crap.
Poop and crap. Okay.
Use whatever.
Poop and crap.
Use whatever slang you want to use.
Like, oh, we're having to decide. That's why I think I was feeling like crap. Because I was going in between the two, you know?
Yeah. So you could see the impending doom, have some
Traffic
sense of why you're even going there. But let's stop there for a second. Is that a new thing?
No.
And not the impending doom thoughts, but having an awareness of the purpose of the impending doom thoughts. Has that seeped in yet?
That was something that I was noticing actually when my mother was sick and I was taking care of her. And I would notice a little bit of that blend of like anxiety and grief, grief, you know, like that's like I felt that and I was like, okay, I feel like there's something going on here with these two things, right? So I was starting to feel that. And I knew before, although I didn't put it in these words, which I think really speak to me even more so. I knew before that I felt that worrying, these impending doom scenarios, like this is before everything went down with my mom, that like worrying would sort of made me feel like protected. Like if I worry, then I won't be blindsided. There won't be this narrative, these tragic narratives of I'm on the up and up, boom, over. Right? So I kind of had this already in my person, you know, my system kind of brewing. But it wasn't really until I guess last week or so, the last couple of weeks, that I noticed when I worded it in a way that it was like choosing conceptual pain over actual pain, you know, conceptual doom over impending, like actual doom, living through the doom. So I would say that that's fairly new in terms of wording it that way. And really like, oh, boom, clear, you know, clear why I would go there. So I thought about what is it that makes me feel that the conceptual doom is better than the actual living through the actual doom? Knowing what I know, that the conceptual doom keeps going on and on and on and on, like it makes you a prisoner forever, versus the actual doom. I mean, my mom, you know, she passed away and it's, you know, I lived through that and I'm processing right now, and it's not the easy breezy, but it's you know, it has its ends, beginnings, it's processing.
Yes.
Like I'm doing it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm not like destroyed. My spirit isn't completely destroyed, right?
Right.
I mean, I definitely am feeling, you know, at times not my very best. Many times I feel like I'm hurting, you know, but I am not in a place where it's like, I can't get out of bed. I can't, you know, I mean, I'll have my moments, but I'm not destroyed.
So beliefs like it'll take me over, I won't be able to stand the pain, I won't bounce back. I'm looking at my notes from last time.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it'll be all consuming. How do those beliefs sound to you now?
So that's where this other part comes in.
Okay.
Because I asked myself, why is it, especially coming off the heels of my rising to the occasion and really like meeting this really hard challenge, you know? I mean, this was like my worst nightmare, right? Come to life. And I've been saying that for a long time. And I'm still here. I'm recuperating physically, emotionally, you know. Um, and I'm determined to connect with my mom and all that. Like I'm determined to make this experience a vehicle for my personal growth, right? To turn it into my mom gifting me with, she already had gifted me with kindness and compassion. Now it's like she's gifting me with what I think our ancestral line never really was able to stand on, which is like that trust and belief in self.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know, this experience, my mom's non-physical energy can be that for me, you know, either be it or help me fuel it, cultivate it, you know, whatever it is. So that's how I was seeing that. Here's the thing. I know the feeling of when I am when I say self-trust, belief in self-belief, I mean, I think at the end, what's really at the core of that is that no matter what happens, I'm gonna be okay. Right? And I never really believed that, I think 100% before. And yet even if I didn't believe that 100%, I believed it more so 10 years ago, you know?
Right. Yeah, you talked
And
about
so
that.
I have a feeling of what that feels like. Like I have some type of experience of what that feels like.
Right.
But I definitely felt like it's lessened, it diminished over the course of 10 years. Why? Because I made a lot of fear-based decisions. You know, I can admit that, you know, and I've known that. Where I'm basically not counting on myself to make the love power-based decisions. Because I allowed for fear to take over. I made choices, you know, to entertain the fearful thoughts, the impending doom, and all of that. So it diminished quite a bit to the point where now, even after this experience with my mom, well, this particular part of the experience, because I'm still in it, but this particular part of the experience of taking care of her, witnessing her transition into the non-physical, doing everything that one needs to do to take care of things, you know. I guess I thought that I would reclaim or even cultivate a supercharged sense of that trust in self, belief in self. Or at the very least, I know what to do when it's time to do it. right?
Yeah.
But no, it did not do that on its own.
Say more about that.
Well, here's a great example.
Okay.
I joined a course. It's, like a daily, sorry, not a course. It's a 21-day challenge. And guess what it's about? Trusting the universe.
All right.
So that, I think that,
how did that come onto your radar?
Yeah. Right. And it happened like 2 days ago where I saw the thing. I was like, oh, okay. And it's coming from Gabby Bernstein. She does a lot of work and talk on trusting the universe. The universe has your back, blah, 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 blah. So she has a 21-day challenge, right? And I was like, this will be supportive. This is going to, nice supplement,
Mm-hmm.
to the work that we're doing. And the first day was a meditation where she had a fear or fears that are coming up for you. And in this visualization meditation, we were to place those fears into a box for the universe to take over, handing them over, surrendering them to the universe. Mm-hmm. And by the end of it, the intention was that, don't you feel lighter? Don't you feel like Steven? I did not. I actually felt heavier. And I actually really, really felt the resistance in my body of not wanting to let go of those fears.
Yeah. Really good.
I've done that. I've done an exercise like that a couple of years ago. And I knew what she meant by, don't you feel lighter? I did before, like a couple of years ago. But this experience was very similar to when my mother was sick. And I was trying to do these visualization, these intention, visualization, embodying what you want. And this was a little earlier on, like September, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like trying to visualize her getting better, our, two together, like going on some talk show and talking about how we, mother, daughter, like, and son, like how we, my mother like got back to health. And, I was like trying to go there using a Joe Dispenza meditation where I was like able to lessen the brain waves, slow down the brain waves, get into the, like, your body's like smooth and fluid. You can let the, power, the divinity come in. And I was like, okay, yes, I'm all good. Like I'm chill in my body. And then the visualization part came in. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was getting strangled. Like I was like, oh, I feel like I'm having a stroke again. Like I'm going into a panic attack. And I was like, whoa, because these meditations were so helpful before.
Yeah.
So when I did this particular meditation, and again, this is like 4 months after my mom passed away. Like I acknowledged that she rose to the occasion. Like I believe what we've been talking about here for the past 11 weeks. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff. And I just was like, wow, there is some deep resistance there. And even just surrendering the fears.
You didn't want to give them up?
I don't know what it was. Like I felt like maybe consciously I wanted to give them up. I'm like, I know what this feels like before. Right. Like I literally felt what she said one would feel or often feels is like, a relief. Don't you feel a relief? And I was like, no, bitch. I didn't. I actually feel like I'm being choked up right now. Like I could just feel the resistance to it. Like, it was just like, no, no, like.
Did you think to tap at that moment?
Okay, so that's where I was like, I was going
I know you were in a different program.
No, but because it's very short, these like daily things, very, very short. That was like 3-5 minutes or something, So it wasn't like a hour-long meditation. It was like 5 minutes or something, And I was like, and she was just like, all right, just leave this beautiful box, just leave all your fears, let the universe take over, let it, And I was just like, I think in my meditation, I was like, I'm trying. Like, come on. Like, go, and it was just like not happening, like I could feel the resistance in my mind. And I don't know if the resistance, to be honest with you, Steven, I'm not sure if the resistance came from my not wanting to let go of the fears because I want to hold on to them.
I didn't mean consciously.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I didn't know if subconsciously or unconsciously I was trying to hold on to them, and or if there was just this thing of like not trusting the universe. And by that, not trusting the divine. And when I say, again, the divine, I'm meaning the co-creator relationship dynamic. So divine, collective, God, universe, and then divine self, capital S. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And to me, it feels like it's more the trust, not trusting. But maybe it's even deeper than that, and there is a holding on, going on there. So with that said, I thought I was going to tap on it, and then I had a phone call that I had to attend to, or I had to attend to. And then after that, it was like a whole other thing. So like, I just wasn't in the right mind, but I was like, put a pin on, and I was like, there's stuff there.
Juice there.
Yeah. A lot of juice there. And it was just like, okay, it's trusting the divine. And again, divine self, divine collective, divine, I don't know how else to say it, but
yeah.
my divine partner. There you go.
Yes.
So yeah, I thought that was extra juicy, and I thought that maybe it might be worth tapping with you on that. This happened on Monday.
Okay. And today is Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Oh, sorry, this happened yesterday.
Okay.
No. It doesn't matter. Or Monday, Tuesday. Monday or Tuesday. Yes.
So when I asked you a few minutes ago if you had done tapping, that was my immediate response to noticing when we're in resistance to anything, right?
Yeah.
So resistance is the opposite of, or certainly impedes and pollutes the concept of being present. So resistance in that way, I've heard it said in so many different ways of how resistance causes pain, whether it causes it or not, or exacerbates it, whatever, it definitely adds to messing anything up.
Well, for me, I'm seeing that it's resulted in like blockages, just not fluid. It's just, yeah.
So one thing to do in a moment like that is just, generally speaking, and in all resistance I'm having, conscious or otherwise, just let it go at a minimum.
I've Yeah.
That's my question is, did you think of it at the time?
I did actually think of it at the time. I'm just remembering the other times where resistance would come up, and I didn't think of the tapping. For example, resistance that shows up as sleep procrastination.
Yes.
I don't know why. Well, it's resistance to taking care of the resistance.
Yeah. All right. So that's
get.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's one, if I'm with you in that moment, or if I'm in a moment like that, that's certainly one place to go. The other place to go, which you've been articulating, is what am I believing right now? And you aced it. You landed right on at least one significant belief. It might be the whole ball of wax for you in that moment, which is, I'm just not trusting. It's the thing we've been talking about. I'm here to develop that trust. This challenge is about that. And in this moment, I'm not trusting. So what is the actual belief right there? And then we'll see which of these two makes the most sense to start with tapping wise. So the belief, I can't trust, I'm not trusting. What is it? So what we're doing here is just fishing for the actual belief or set of beliefs. And sometimes in this process, this is just what we do. Is it this? Is it, yeah, it's kind of that, not quite. Let's see where we go. And I know it's not a new idea.
No, yeah, I'm trying to nab down the exact stuff behind that. I'm wondering if, so I'm trying to think about when I was doing this visualization meditation about surrendering my fears to the universe in that beautiful box. And how I was just like I was even, I think I was even having a hard time visualizing it, but not really, because I was able to do it, but it was just kind of like
Right. You'll feel better.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right.
Like it just.
So right in there, what are you believing? It won't work. It doesn't matter what I do.
Okay. Doesn't matter what I do. Maybe a little bit. I don't want doubts if I'm. Yeah, no, it's that if you do it, if you surrender the fears, you're gonna get bit in the ass.
This will come back to bite me.
Yeah. I was trying to think if there was a little bit of I'm playing myself by doing this. That's come up before.
Yeah, it's related.
Yeah. But mostly I feel the charge that this is gonna, by doing this is gonna bite me in the ass. Like if you relax, you're gonna have a hard fall.
So it's not safe. It's not safe to relax.
Yeah.
Is that an okay way to say it?
It's not safe to trust. It's not safe to trust.
Okay.
It's not safe to trust.
And is there also, I'm just asking, like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe I can have, I don't believe I can trust.
It's not safe to trust.
Yeah.
It's not safe to trust. Not safe to trust. I just keep thinking that it's not safe to trust because I'm gonna get fucked up.
Yeah. It's going to come back to bite me.
Come back to bite me.
It's going to cost me. I'll be blindsided.
I'll be blindsided, and I don't know if I am going to be able to withstand it, to take it.
Okay.
Which is kind of like
in this case, what's the it?
The impending doom. The doom scenarios.
All right, so some of those old ones from last week. Well, from your life. All right, so this answers my question. We're well past doing a general tapping on resistance. Not that would be ineffective or ineffective, but just because this will be more effective. What we just did for the last few minutes was help Delilah and me find out what is she actually believing? What is the root of all of it? Because fundamentally, healing occurs in the belief system of the person seeking the healing. So Delilah is seeking healing and has some beliefs that are counter to the healing. So until and unless she or you or me or any of us deign to address our issues at the level of the belief, then we're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Yeah. And sometimes that looks really good for a period of time. Wow, thanks for doing that. Those chairs look amazing. That's great. But guess what? The thing is still sinking.
Yeah.
So we're just getting to the root of it. And that's what this is about. So now what we're going to do is just talk and tap, including and incorporating this family of beliefs. So we often start with what are you believing? And then almost always, it's not just one. I always say that our beliefs tend to have brothers and sisters and cousins, and we list them all out. And it's like, well, they're distinct from each other, but also very related. And we'll just start rocking and rolling. So the main one here, it's not safe to trust for all the reasons. And we'll just incorporate that. So 0 to 10, when you say that, when you hold that idea right now in this conversation with regard to the divine, it's not safe to trust. 0 to 10.
8.
Okay. And so that's us just taking the temperature. Now we're going to tap for a while, and then we'll take the temperature again and see where we are. So uncrossed legs, feet, ankles. Anybody that cares to tap along, you're always welcome to. Maybe it will, maybe what Delilah is talking about and what we're doing and saying will resonate, and you'll just tap along. Maybe you'll use it as an opportunity to just physically do some tapping, and you might entertain some different ideas, something that's more personal to you right now. There's almost always shared benefit. I regret that I won't see or hear any of you unless you are there and leaving us comments, but let's rock and roll here. So starting on the karate chop, Delilah, even though as I continue in this process, it's clear to me that some old beliefs are still active in my system. I'm choosing here and now to do what I can to discreate them. Good. Still in the karate chop. Even though it's clear to me in this process that there's some conflict between my desire to have two-way communication with the divine and this belief I've developed that renders me that tells me it's not safe to trust the divine.
And this belief that I've been having that it's not safe to trust the divine.
I'm choosing here now
I'm choosing here and now.
See what I can do to sort this out.
See what I can do to sort this out.
Even though it's clear that I carry a belief that it's not safe to trust the divine,
Even though I'm carrying a belief that it's not safe to trust the divine,
I love and accept myself completely.
I love and accept myself completely.
Good. Now we go to the forehead point. It's not safe to trust.
It's not safe to trust.
Sides of the eyes. It's not safe to trust.
It's not safe to trust.
Under the eyes. This idea that it's not safe to trust.
This idea that it's not safe to trust.
Under the nose. This idea born of my fear.
This idea born of my fear.
On the chin. This idea born of my fear.
This idea born of my fear.
Collarbone. That it's not safe to trust the divine.
That it's not safe to trust the divine.
Under the arm. When it's my deep desire.
And it's my deep desire.
Top of the head. To have ongoing, regular, two-way communication with the divine.
To have ongoing, regular, two-way communication with the divine.
Eyebrow. I'm clear about that desire.
I'm clear about that desire.
Sides of the eyes. I'm clear about this desire.
I'm clear about this desire.
Under the eyes. I can see and sense the juiciness of it.
I can see and sense the juiciness of it.
Under the nose. I've glimpsed it myself.
I've glimpsed it myself.
And on the chin. And I certainly see the benefit that others experience.
And I certainly see the benefit that others experience.
Collarbone. Due to their connection with the divine.
Due to their connection with the divine.
Under the arm. And there was a point in my life.
And there was a point in my life.
Top of the head. Where I did not have this belief.
Where I didn't have this belief.
Eyebrow. I made some fear-based decisions over the last decade or so.
I've made some fear-based decisions over the last decade or so.
Sides of the eyes. I've spent a lot of time entertaining impending doom.
I spent a lot of time entertaining impending doom.
Under the eyes. Entertaining scenarios that never happened.
Entertaining scenarios that never happened.
Under the nose. And I have this desire.
And I have this desire.
On the chin for two-way communication and all that comes with that.
For two-way communication and all that comes with that.
Collarbone. I know I'm not calling out every single point. Collarbone here. And yet I fundamentally believe it's not safe to trust.
And yet I fundamentally believe that it's not safe to trust.
Under the arm. I have this sense that something's going to come back to bite me.
I have this sense that something's going to come back to bite me.
Top of the heads. That I'll be blindsided.
That I'll be blindsided. Oh, and another one. That I'll freeze.
Say more.
Just think about some of the times when I felt a bit paralyzed with fear.
Sides of the eyes.
And I felt that like physically,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
Under the eyes. So all of this experience with fear.
All this experience with fear, feeling groundless.
Yeah, under the nose. Feeling groundless, feeling frozen, feeling paralyzed.
Yeah, like legs are like jello kind of thing. And
the chin. And yet, my current reality. Collarbone. Is actually different than that.
Yeah, it's actually different than that. I mean, this coming off of this experience that was very unwanted, probably one of the most unwanted experiences I ever wanted to have.
Yeah.
And
top of the head, keep going.
I'm not just standing, but like I'm moving through this, like very intentionally. And, you know, I believe that I'm moving through this in a very healthy way.
Sides of the eyes. Keep going.
So, yeah, like it's even though there were
Under the
times
eyes.
I
Yes.
did feel during this experience, particularly when I was, you know, in the throes of uncertainty.
Under the nose. Yes.
I did have, you know, the panic attacks and the 6-week rash and
Yep.
the sometimes the, you know, feelings of like can't feel my legs sometimes, you know, like it wasn't, I was standing up still, you know, I was standing up, and I actually kept saying to my brother, to everyone, like, we're rising to the occasion. Like
Rising to the occasion. Yes.
Yeah. We were present. We were there for our mom. Like, you know, like we faced it, you know, we didn't run away. We didn't shy away. We kept moving, you know, and yeah, sometimes I'll think to myself, like, wow, what would have happened had my brother Michael not been there? Because it was a lot, you know, for like, I think for me, for myself, but who knows, you know, I mean, and those weren't the circumstances. So it was fun.
So I also know what it's like to be supported during a rough time.
I know what it's like to be very supported during a rough time.
And yet I hesitate to trust the divine.
And yet I hesitate to trust the divine.
I get afraid that I'll be blindsided.
Afraid that I'll be blindsided.
What
is that? What is that? I don't get it.
Under the arm.
Yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I feel like, you know, coming off the heels of the worst nightmare scenario, and I'm here rising to the occasion, getting shit done, things faring, you know, like the best possible case scenarios for the worst case scenario, you know,
so
yeah,
if those fears,
I have so much evidence.
Yep, stick with me. If those fears, size of the eyes, if those beliefs, fears of all the worst case scenarios, all the beliefs that we're talking about being blindsided, and about on the chin, about something coming back to bite you,
something coming back to bite me,
collarbone, that I'm playing myself somehow. Under the arm, that it doesn't matter what I do. So all of this fear, all of this impending doom, all of these limiting beliefs, top of the head, we're just going to package them up right now.
We're going to package them up.
Just like you did for your meditation.
Just like I did for my meditation.
So that is the material we're focused on in this moment.
That's the material. Oh, that's the material. I got a cramp. That's the material. That's the material that we're focusing on in the moment.
And eyebrow point, we're just going to let it all go.
Oh, let it all go, please.
Sides of the eyes, let it go. We know what we're talking about. Let it go.
Let it go. We know what we're talking about.
Under the eyes, all this history, all this habit of fear and impending doom.
All this history, all this habit of impending doom.
Collarbone, whatever it all is.
Whatever it all is.
Wherever it came from.
Wherever it came from.
However far back it goes.
However far back it goes.
Why ever I chose this path for a while.
Why ever I chose this path for a long while.
It is good and time.
It's good in time.
And safe to let it all go now.
And safe to let it all go.
Let it go now.
Let it go now.
Good. Deep breath in, wrist in through the nose. Hold for a couple of moments. Exhale through the mouth even longer. Peace.
Peace.
We're going to keep going. Eyebrow, same stuff. Let it go.
Let it go.
Sides of the eyes, let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Under the eyes, let it go.
Let it go.
Collarbone, whatever it all is.
Whatever it all is.
Wherever it came from.
Wherever it came from.
However far back it goes.
However far back it goes.
Why ever I chose this path.
Why ever I chose this path.
It's good and time and safe.
It's good and time and safe.
To let it all go now.
To let it all go now.
Let it go now.
Let it go now.
Good. Deep breath and wrist. Peace.
Peace.
Again, eyebrow. Let it go.
Let it go.
Sides of the eyes, let it go.
Come on. Let it go.
Under the eyes, let it go.
Let it go.
Collarbone, whatever it all is, wherever it came from.
Whatever it all is, wherever it came from.
However far back it goes.
However far back it goes.
Why ever I chose this experience.
Why ever I chose this experience.
It's good and time and safe.
It's good and time and safe.
To let it all go now.
To let it all go now.
Let it go now.
Let it go now.
Deep breath and wrist. Peace.
Peace.
Eyebrow. Let it go.
Let it go.
Sides of the eyes, let it go.
Let it go.
Under the eyes, let it go.
Let it go.
Collarbone, whatever it all is.
Whatever it all is.
Wherever it came from.
Wherever it came from.
However far back it goes.
However far back it goes.
Why ever I chose this experience.
Why ever I chose this experience.
It's good and time and safe to let it go now.
It's good and time and safe to let it go now.
Let it go now.
Let it go now.
Deep breath and wrist. Peace.
Peace.
One more time. Eyebrow. Let it go.
Let it go.
Sides of the eyes, let it go.
Let it go.
Under the eyes, let it go.
Let it go.
Collarbone, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Wherever it came from.
Wherever it came from.
However far back it goes.
However far back it goes.
why ever I chose this experience,
why ever I chose and may continue to choose these experiences,
and any and all judgments attached to any of it.
any and all judgments attached to any of it.
It's safe to let it all go now.
Safe to let it go.
Let it go now. One last deep breath and rest.
Oh.
Peace.
Peace. So,
Yes.
I was able to get to a more neutral place in my system, because when we started the tapping, even though I was not at like the height of it all, I felt this sort of tension in my body, in my system, like kind of like a. I also have a flight tomorrow. We're gonna go away for the weekend, and so you already know the travel stuff usually gets me going a little bit. So that added to sort of that tension in the body, in the system. But as we were tapping, getting toward the end there, I was like, okay, I'm neutralizing. I don't feel that like, it's like more like, okay, melting away, melting from ice to water, right? Ice to water. And then right when we were like finished, like about to finish, you were saying, okay, one more time, right? The thought, that's why I don't know if you noticed, but I was like,
I did.
Okay. The thought of, okay, no judgment. How long is this going to last? Came up.
Okay. So even though it's hard to trust the relief I feel,
even though it's hard for me to trust the relief that I feel,
the relief is my connection to the divine.
The relief is the right connection to the divine.
Even though it's hard to trust the relief I'm feeling in this moment,
even though it is hard for me to trust the relief that I'm feeling in this moment,
I'm choosing to acknowledge that this is the project.
I'm choosing to acknowledge that this is the project.
Even though I barely feel some relief,
even though I am at the beginning stages, good beginning stages of feeling some relief.
And then immediately question how long it's going to last.
And then immediately question and judging my questioning how long it's going to last.
I'm choosing here now to continue.
I'm choosing here now to continue
with the exact dynamic that we've been talking about.
With the exact dynamic that we've been talking about.
All right, Brad. The dynamic is I know what the connection to the divine can be.
I know what the connection to the divine can be.
Sides of the eyes. And then I have a habit of not trusting it.
Then I have a habit of not trusting it.
Under the eyes. I know what it can be.
I know what it can be.
Under the nose. I even know what it is.
I even know what it is.
Under the chin. And yet I don't trust it.
Yet I don't trust it.
Collarbone. I know what it is to have experience connection with the divine.
I know what it is to experience connection with the divine.
under the arm, and then I don't trust it.
And then I don't trust it.
Top of the head. I know what it is to experience connection with the divine.
I know what it is to experience connection with the divine.
Eyebrow. I'm eager to ramp this relationship way up.
I'm eager to ramp this relationship all the way up.
Sides of the eyes. And I just have this history and habit.
I have a history and a habit
Under the eyes of running away from it.
of running away from it.
Under the nose. I have a history and a habit of running away from it.
I have a history and a habit of running away from it.
On chin. I have a history and a habit of saying I don't trust it.
I have a history and a habit of saying I don't trust it.
Collarbone. I have a history and habit of saying that I don't trust it.
I have a history and a habit of saying I don't trust it.
Under the arm. What are you thinking right now?
About that.
Okay. So I know what it's like to experience connection with the divine.
I know what it's like to experience connection with the divine.
Top of the head. And I know what it's like to run away from it.
And I know what it's like to run away from it.
Eyebrow. I really want this two-way communication connection with the divine.
I really want this two-way connection, communication with the divine.
Sides of the eyes. I want two-way connection and communication with my mom.
I want two-way communication and connection with my mom.
Under the eyes. I want the benefits of this for myself.
I want the benefits of this for myself.
Under the nose. And I sometimes resist the whole thing that we're talking about.
And I sometimes resist the whole thing that we're talking about.
And this resistance to the very thing that I want.
This resistance to the very thing that I want.
Collarbone. These ideas I have about not being able to trust it.
These ideas that I have about not being able to trust it.
Ideas I have about the other shoe dropping at some point.
Ideas I have about the other shoe dropping at some point.
Like just now, I felt relief.
Like just now was feeling like it was melting, the ice was melting into water. And I was like, all right, this is good. And then.
Right. So I'm going to try to conjure the ice to water feeling right now.
I'm going to try to conjure that ice to water feeling right now.
Sides of the eyes. Now you tell me, Delilah, when you are feeling that feeling from 5 minutes ago. Under the eyes. We'll keep tapping. No pressure. We're just continuing to tap on the points. Feeling that neutralized. Top of the head.
Okay.
Eyebrow. This is the real me. This feeling.
I lost it a little bit. I'm sorry.
Okay. Tell me when you get it back.
Okay.
doing what I'm here to do.
Doing what I'm here to do.
Yep.
Okay.
Eyebrow point. Tell me the feeling right now.
This feels more neutral.
Neutral. What's good about neutral? Sides of the eyes.
That I'm not heightened, supercharged with
Can you say it in positive terms?
Oh, neutral.
Under the eyes.
I feel more calm in my system.
Eyebrow. I feel more calm in my system.
Feel more calm in my system.
Sides of the eyes. I feel more calm in my system.
A little more space in my chest.
Under the eyes. Which means what to you?
That there's not like a stuckness.
What is there?
Space.
So I feel calm. I feel space.
Openness.
I feel open. On the chin. When I feel calm, that's the truth of who I am.
When I feel calm, that's the truth of who I am.
Collarbone. When I feel neutral.
When I feel neutral.
I'm fully present.
I'm fully present.
Under the arm. When I feel neutral.
When I feel neutral.
That is the truth of who I am.
That is the truth of who I am.
Top of the head. When I feel spaciousness in my body.
When I feel spaciousness in my body.
Eyebrow. That is the truth of who I am.
That is the truth of who I am.
Sides of the eyes. This is who I really am.
This is who I really am.
Under the eyes. Calm is my natural state.
Calm is my natural state.
Under the nose. Neutral is my natural state.
Neutral is my natural state.
On the chin. Spacious is my natural state.
Spacious is my natural state.
Collarbone. I'm on purpose tapping these feelings in.
I'm on purpose tapping these feelings in.
Under the arm with the express intention and purpose.
With the
express intention and purpose.
With the express intention and purpose.
Top of the head to remind my physical body.
To remind my physical body.
Eyebrow of home base.
Of home base.
Sides of the eyes. I can get to home base.
I can get to home base.
Under the eyes. I can feel calm.
I can feel calm.
Under the nose. I can feel neutral.
I can feel neutral.
And chin. I can feel spacious.
I can feel spacious.
Collarbone. Any other feelings coming with this?
I could feel grounded.
Beautiful. Under the arm. It's nice to feel grounded.
It's nice to feel grounded.
Go on. Top of the head.
Nice to feel held.
Say more about the feeling held. Eyebrow.
Just that I have something below my feet and behind me, you know, like kind of holding me, lifting me, lifted.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
under the eyes. It is through these feelings.
It's through these feelings.
Under the nose. It is through connection to my feelings.
It's through connection through my feelings.
On the chin, where the divine will communicate with me.
Where the divine will communicate with me.
Collarbone. When I feel calm.
When I feel calm.
Under the arm. When I feel held.
When I feel held.
Top of the head. When I feel spacious.
When I feel spacious.
Eyebrow. When I feel neutral.
When I feel neutral.
Sides of the eyes. When I feel held.
When I feel held.
Under the eyes. When I feel calm.
When I feel calm.
Under the nose. When I feel spacious.
When I feel spacious.
On the chin. I am poised to receive.
I am poised to receive.
Collarbone. Communication from the divine.
Communication from the divine.
Communication from my mom.
Communication from my mom.
Under the arm. This is where it lives.
This is where it lives.
I have access to it.
I have access to it.
I am literally in the space.
I am literally in this space.
As I speak.
As I speak.
That primes me for the very thing I want.
That primes me for the very thing I want.
Nice deep breath.
Yeah. So 2 great reminders from today's session 11, is reminder to tap whenever I feel resistance.
Yes.
And to get to this place of neutrality, of calm, peace, in order to receive, in order to allow for that
Yes.
two-way communication, connection. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just have to complete the circle. It's not safe to trust 0 to 10 right now.
Like a 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not an insignificant shift. So
You said not a significant?
not an insignificant.
Oh, okay. I was like,
double
really?
negative. A significant shift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that tells us we're going in the right direction. I'm kind of watching the time and your energy as well. I think we've probably done enough for now.
I think so too.
You know, you have the recording of this. You could go back and do the exact same thing.
Definitely.
Keep doing it. So what I would recommend is exactly that. Do whatever you can, as much as you can, and this is about having a tapping practice within our spiritual workout practice, especially when we're, contending with the stuff we're contending with. Oftentimes the tapping is really just going to help us do what we're doing anyway. I think it sort of turbocharges the process. And within that tapping, just to explain it a little bit. So first we start when somebody's got a belief that they're really believing pretty strongly and they don't want to believe it, right? And they want to reduce that. That's where we start, right? So we sort of started on we're just giving voice to the reality that that's the belief. I can't trust, right? And so whether or not a person wants to have that belief is not the point. The point is they have it. Can we do anything to reduce it, to reduce the intensity of it?
Right.
And so that was kind of where we started.
Mm-hmm.
And then talking about some of the other beliefs and throwing them all in there. And then it felt like I didn't stop anything, but it felt like there was some softening. And so that was where it was like, all right, let's just package this all up and do a much more general, let it go for all of it, for all time history and all of that. And that was where I also saw some of that, I think, when you hit neutral. And then I don't know if you noticed at the very end, it might have been the very last round, I threw in, let's let go of the judgment too, because it just seemed like, oh God, here we go. And we could have gone down that whole road. But then we stopped, right? And what did we do? we heard Delilah say, I hit that piece of neutrality and then I was instantly questioning it. So that's where I want to jump right on it. We always want to follow where the tapping takes us. So, okay, now this new thing has emerged, well, related, but it was specific and it was different, but it was the exact same thing. That's your issue. It's like, well, here's this glorious wonderfulness, but I don't know how long it's going to last, and and that's the very issue that we're talking about. So there was an opportunity to just really, go into that in a from a different angle. Yeah, exactly. And so I would just encourage more. And so then at the end of all that, it's really just, you already know where you are. That was what I wanted to do. So the tapping in, that was the last piece of this. If Delilah could get back, or when she could get back to that good feeling place that she had just been in, and I really appreciate your stick-to-itiveness. You can't force something like that, but we can often conjure those feelings that we've had, especially when they've been recent. And then it's like, okay, this is me. This is the truth. All that other bullshit's gone. Let's just tap this in. Calm, peace. All that was the method for that, to get you used to it on a conscious level, but also your body, which is really subconscious and unconscious.
Yes.
And so if I'm you right now, I mean, I would go much more into that, unless you just can't. Unless you're just way down in a particular moment with too much of the dump list old beliefs.
Yeah.
But given what you did tonight, I would encourage you strongly to start in that place and see, see what comes of that. If you just can't, or if you're having to force it,
or if I'm getting the, like, what I feel are like stroke symptoms or something, like, as I'm like so into this other
don't force anything ever.
I know.
But try, do your best to start there if you can. And I think you'll be able to
take the temperature by going first to what you want.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
And then seeing, okay, I am so far from that. Right. I'm gonna go and work it out a
or
bit.
Like we did here, you were not on it, but you weren't so far away that you couldn't get to it.
Right.
And that's what we want to. That's the first shot.
Yeah.
So exactly what you just said. What's the ideal? What do I want? How close am I to that energetically right now? And we know right off the bat.
And also to stick with it too, because I think that, and it's, it's not just me, but I know that for others, like sometimes we'll, be on the tapping, doing a couple of rounds, and it's like, it's not moving. It's
gotta go.
Yeah. Or like, I have to go, or like, damn, all right, maybe it's not working, because you just, you gotta keep going. And then sometimes it has a cumulative effect.
Cumulative cascading effect. So see how you feel in an hour, an hour and a half, 3 hours from now. Seriously.
Yeah, I know. I've experienced
I had a client just the other day. She said, we had done a big tapping thing and then kind of left. The session was over and all. And she was able to find me later. She's like, that was a really great tapping session, but you should have seen it an hour later. She was like jumping around. And it's very, So give yourself, it's a dance. Just do what feels right. Let that energy kind of settle. Drink some water and see what it all looks and feels like, 1 to 3 hours from now.
Yeah. This is really good too, because it's coming right in time for when I'm about to take a trip.
Yeah.
And that's usually what tends to charge me up in the not trusting place, and it gets me anxious, in an anxious place. But I'm not feeling so much like that right now, which is good.
Good.
Yeah. Like I'm tired and I got stuff to do before leaving tomorrow. And so that's, I think like an hour ago before we did all of this, I was a little bit like, oh my God, I got a lot to do and I'm tired. And, we have to leave like in the morning.
Hopefully you're too tired to entertain impending doom thoughts.
Yeah. I'm like, no. I mean, I think that one of the this is going to sound interesting, but it serves its purpose. When I have when the whole like nerves and this energy comes up whenever I have a trip, you know, I have to take a plane or whatever, and I have a trip, and then you know I get a little charged up inside for various reasons. Um, what has helped me, and I'm being honest here, what has helped me to sort of just kind of flow through the prepping for the trip and the actual trip has been lately taking half a Xanax, right? Now, no judgment. I definitely let go of the judgment of that because it really came in handy a couple of months ago. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not dying. Okay. But you know, no judgment on using that to get you to the neutral place, right? The calm place. But I like to use it more as an example of how I'd like to feel without taking it.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah, because I get to see how I can flow.
Yes.
Like
It's a teacher in that way.
Yeah.
To use it as a teacher.
Yeah. Like I'm like, that's the intention.
Exactly.
You know, is to flow the way I flow when I use this aid without using the aid, if not better.
Right.
That's the intention. You know, and so Xanax, thank you for gifting me what can be and what I could actually add to, you know, to actually even feel better without that aid, you know.
One day at a time.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, rushing. Although sometimes I'm like, why not? It'd be so nice. But at least I have had the experience with or without the aid of flowing through what would have often been a highly charged, heavy, stressful situation experience for me.
Yeah.
So
good work, my friend.
Thank you, Steven. I will keep going with this. I will report back. I will reach out in case I run into any snafus, or if I would like to magnify. But yes, thank you so much, Steven. Everyone, thank you for being here. To my right here, or to my side here, Steven Morrison, creator of Spiritual Workout, the author of An Extra Year, Grief and Loss in the New Age, and the wonderful guide that I have here to help me move intentionally, consciously through this experience with unconventional wisdom. In parentheses, should be conventional. So thank you, everyone. We will be back next week. Same time, same place, YouTube Live.
I'll be here.
Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, thank you, everyone. We will see you next week. Have a great one.
Thank you.